prove it to me so it's not just something that I saw on the internet. Let's see on the machine, let's see this even roll effect happen. Okay. Now, on a toe, on a center, and on a heel.
Yeah, I gotta find the balls with the...
Oh, the actual spun balls, yeah, right. All right, so with the thing I wanted Guerin to show me, and he's back on the, is that Iron Byron, or what putting machine do you call that?
we call it 3-jack.
3-jack, the putting machine. Yeah, we're ready. So here's one coming out of the center. Sounded cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a center one,
This is a
toe, and a heel. And Guerin, usually this thing is off of an electric magnet. Look at this. That would have hit it.
When I release it, it either springs and sometimes it doesn't. It's just really hard to do it this way.
All right, so here comes our heel hit, which, look at that curve. That's cool. So we'll go back to the live board, the do board, right?
Roll board.
Roll board.
And you can see that the three parallel lines coming off the face.
That's really cool.
No dispersion. And if you look at down there from this angle,
So you had an idea in your mind because you had seen in some of your prototypes and stuff that less contact area.
oh no, pros would tell me.
Oh, okay.
It's not going, I have to hit it harder.
Well, with your old
my right
grooves. Yeah, it's like,
right grooves.
even though it's a solid block of metal, I'm having to swing more.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's not, okay, so,
Yeah.
so I just did something very simple to start with, is
Yeah.
I increased the contact surface so that it would hit it harder where it's weaker.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked. But my initial version of this, I made these grooves really wide. And they tapered a lot, so there was a lot more land. There was a lot
thin, yeah.
Well, no, they were wider. There were fewer of them.
Oh, okay.
So when I did my robot testing over here,
Yeah.
the balls were coming off and crossing.
Oh, okay.
And the outside balls were going further.
So we had 3 balls. The center one went this way. Then the one that was hit off the toe went like that.
The ones hit out here came across this way.
Yeah, gotcha.
It was gearing.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on that. It just happened. So I made another version where I tightened up that spacing.
Yeah.
I made it a little narrower,
Yeah.
and they still crossed a little bit.
Yeah.
So then I got it down to here, and they ended up in the same spot.
And was there a certain distance that
It didn't matter.
you wanted them? Oh, it didn't matter.
Well,
Even at a
because
slower speed.
okay, slower speed,
Yeah.
it needs to gear less.
Uh-huh.
At a longer speed, it needs to gear more. So it progressively corrects itself.
Because just thinking about it, you would think like, oh, is this putter calibrated to gear towards the middle only on a 25-foot putt?
Right.
But you're saying it'll do it on a 6-footer or a 35-footer?
Yes,
And they'll
well,
cross.
because it needs to gear less at a shorter distance, because there's less percussion.
Now, this is like an off-the-wall question, but do you see this gear effect only in the like Iron Byron putting machine that is rigidly put into the, like
Well,
it's
that's
in there, or human hands will deflect a little?
Sure, I
Yeah.
mean, you have to test stuff with robots.
Yeah.
And you also have to spin the ball to find the equator, with that little
Right.
check go, I use a high-speed
Yeah.
spinner. And
Yeah.
then I get balls that are matched for their distance.
Yeah.
I go through I'll find 3 balls out of a dozen
Oh, okay.
that are actually good and the same.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Oh, so balls can really.
They're all over
yeah,
the place.
Yeah.
And so whenever you do testing, you got to get rid of the variables.
Yeah. Sure.
Otherwise, your testing's bogus. You
Yeah.
don't have any. You're not dealing with a consistent
Apples to apples. Yeah.
apples to apples type
Yeah.
test, exactly. So I got 3 balls that would just bump into each other and stop at the same spot, on top of the same penny almost.
Yeah.
They were just perfect. And using a robot with a magnet release, no human hands, everything was precise.
Yeah. Because of how much you've worked with putting and getting into putting, would you recommend that it makes a big difference to spin your ball? You think that
Sure.
Yeah.
I recommend that to everybody.
To get a line, because it'll have a true equator.
This is a little off the topic.
Yeah,
This
right.
isn't about EVNROLL, but I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
This is what I learned from
I just want to be
testing.
better.
Hey, let's just give everybody some good information, right?
Yeah.
I can take a ball that's
Yeah.
been spun, and I can kick it to the side and put it like this, and hit it right in the middle of the putter, like I've been doing, and
Yeah.
it'll go 2 to 3 inches off the side.
Even on a robot.
On a robot.
A
Well, a
perfect
robot
swing.
shows you
Yeah.
that when you hit that ball again, and you move the line, it goes offline a little bit.
Well, this is something we were talking about because a lot of times even really great putters on tour and other things, they'll be hitting their putts out on the course, and they'll, let's say they're blocking it all day. And they're like, what am I doing? And they'll go adjust their stroke or adjust their stance or make radical changes when it might have just been a very slight off hit.
Exactly. Okay, so very good point. And sometimes people fix things that don't need to be fixed. Well, we always do that.
Yeah, right.
Okay, because it's never.
And we go to the extreme.
Or somebody hits or it's the green or whatever. But what it sometimes it is that you're not hitting the center of the face and you're getting that mishit that's going offline. You'll see, you remember, you've probably seen Tiger Woods before tournaments, where he's got 2 tees in the ground and he's got a putter and he's putting between those 2 tees. So
trying to get it through that gate, there's almost zero room.
The gate drill is like zero room,
Yeah.
it's really close, and he's hitting it right in the sweet spot every time.
Yeah.
That's important. He knows that that's important. It's just, he's got a pretty good record. So, but that's exactly right. That's what that's all about. And very often guys will miss a putt and they'll push it and they'll think that they pushed it, but they actually hit it off center toward the toe.
Well, this is something that we're going to do because we're gonna get into fitting me for an even roll putter, which is I'm super excited about. And we're also I know that Guerin was saying that a lot of people, myself included, because as you guys know, I always say I'm a good putter. A lot of people think like, well, this is cool for like 10 to 30 handicapper who is all over the face. But like, I hit the ball out of the center pretty good. This is technology that's really not going to help me that much.
Okay, so to the point of why is this important? Okay, so all of a sudden you start using this technology, and you start making more putts because that mishit kept on the line that you aimed it. You know, when you were aiming before and everything was right and you hit it a little off center and it didn't go in, you went, what's wrong? Well, now that ball will go in the hole.
So. All right, so we're gonna do some stuff, Guerin, right now, because he's had tour players come in here and say, "Oh, I don't have a problem missing the center of the face." Well, he's got to test to see if I can actually hit the center of the face or if this would help me. So let's go do that.
All right.
We're gonna do this center face test. If you guys can probably hear, there's some noise behind us. This place is like super active because they've been like sending out putters to people. Excuse that. And then, all right, so let's see. So what is this thing we have here?
All right, this is my little test to show how difficult it is to hit the ball in the sweet spot. All right, so now we're going to give you all this room here. You got this spot in the middle here. So
all this room.
What's a 1/4 inch?
Yeah.
It's a 1/4 inch of room.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a 1/4 inch right there.
Gotcha.
And so we're going to try to hit the ball right there.
And you're saying any ball struck outside this area will have some distance effect.
You'll see.
Some less distance.
You'll see. Okay. So this is just you're just trying to hit the center.
Yep.
You have a 1/4 inch, so you just try to hit the center. Okay, that's one. Okay, there's another one. So this is indicating that you're hitting this one. The inside. There you go. You got it. So it can be done.
It can be done.
Did it again. Very good.
Oh, overdid it. This thing is unforgiving. Wow. 7 balls, and 2 of them I actually hit in what would be the sweet spot.
The sweet spot, yep.
And it's not just me. Guerin's had tour pros come in here. Guys who like only make their money on tour. And how many out of 10 can they get?
Usually 2.
2. All right, so that's positive for me, but it's also illuminating for, so even those ones that, because I would have, if I didn't have those magnets on there, I would have thought that I hit all of those right out of the center.
Right. So a 1/4 inch is about 3 to 4 inches off center, and about a foot short.
On a 25-footer.
On a 25-footer, yeah. On top of the balls not being spun or being perfect, you got all these things going against you. You got to get one thing right.
Yep.
And you want that one thing to be a very consistent impact off the face of the putter, and have the ball go the same distance and go to the same spot. So you don't get that off center hit. So at least you got that solved.
So when we're swinging at a certain miles per hour, but when the ball strikes the putter face, we're getting the same energy transfer on these variable
On
things.
center and off center hits.